It's Friday, or as they say on Twitter, it's Friday. Well, however you want to put it, it's the Friday morning edition of Joy News Interactive live on the Joy News channel on Multi TV, also on Go TV and DSTV channel 421. As the name suggests, we are very interactive, so you can send us your thoughts on our WhatsApp number 0560-800,000. On Facebook and Twitter, our name is Joy News on TV. Today we're discussing a lot of issues that I'm sure you'd like to have your say on. Let's start from Parliament. Parliament has approved the Finance Minister's request for 10.9 billion Ghana cedi to finance critical government expenditure in the first quarter of 2017. According to Seth Tekwe, who is the Finance Minister, the money will be used to finance interest on loans, grants to some government agencies, as well as salaries and compensation for public sector workers. However, the minority is critical of such a request, with the MP for New Drabing South saying when the next president comes to power, he has to make interest payments of 1.9 billion Ghana cedi. Now, he also asked the question, why would you saddle the next president with such a burden? We asked you what you thought of this amount of money, 10.9 billion Ghana cedi advance, on our social media platforms and on the streets in Accra. Let's hear what some of you have been saying about this.
I think it's a good idea, because for things to move on very well, I think it must be properly financed. So for the government to come out with such an amount, it really help support good governance. If only it's going to be used properly, put to judicial use. Because in most cases we hear of funds that are allocated for several projects, but at the end of the day, they pass through other channels. So if they are going to be used for, the right reasons why they were set up, then I think it's a good idea.
It's a good idea because if he's going to use the money to do these things, it's better. It will help some people, understand? It will help some people.
Yeah, I think the amount is too big. And already there have been some, Parliament approving so many, funds like this. And I think they have to make good use of the money, we have in our coffers. They don't have to just spend the money anyhow, but all the money that they are spending should be in the interest of the states. And also they should think about, the ordinary Ghanaians. A lot of people are suffering. So the monies like this should be channeled to, those career years, unemployment, and so forth. There are a lot of problems in the country, so I think they should look at those problems and solve them than always taking money to, areas that are not needed to be spent on.
Well, some people are sharing their thoughts. They're here on WhatsApp. Someone says, I love JM to Asosa, which means continue. And someone is asking what's up for Jay and I today. Already the discussion has started. We are talking about that budget that's been approved for the first quarter of 2017, almost 11 billion Ghana cedis. And a lot of people have been sharing their thoughts with us on the amount. And the minority in Parliament obviously is not happy about this amount. And today we'll also be discussing, for the person who asked what's happening for Jay and I today, we'll talk about old school reunion, or Joy FM school reunion. And you know how when you're in school and we learn our anthems, and some people don't want to learn it because when you're in high school, really, some people are just, they want to behave above the law and they never learn the school's anthem. So today, ahead of that event next Saturday, we are asking you, can you sing your school's anthem? That will come later in the show. We'll also talk about a woman who traveled all the way to an African country just to see the man who duped her. What would you do if you were in her situation? And also we talk about musicians who are using the arts to discuss, various social issues. Now, it's no secret that Ghanaian musicians use their platforms to talk about issues in society that bother them, talk about corruption, struggles of the poor, and the load shedding crisis, popularly known as Doomsor. Well, they've all featured in popular songs by E.L. Sarkodie, One Love, the Kubolo. Now, One Love was on the AM show this morning and shared with Roland Walker why he uses music to speak out. Well, we'll bring you that one later. This one says it will be a good idea if it is used as indicated. And you are speaking on that budget that has been approved for the first quarter of 2017. Now, this one says if the government had effectively and competently managed the economy well, there'll be no need seeking to bulldoze the current appropriation bill before Parliament at this crucial hour of elections. This is Yakubu Ibn Chambers sending us this message in Wale. All right, a lot of your messages coming through, but keep thinking about it. For those of you at home, you can just send me the first 5 lines of your school's anthem. We're just testing you. Build up to the school's reunion event by Multimedia and Joy FM. You're watching Joy News Interactive. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, there's a lot more to talk about. It's a Friday, guys. Please don't go away. Welcome back. It's Joy News Interactive Friday morning edition. Now we're talking about music and the power of music. Whereas some people just create songs for people to dance and release stress, others make songs to create a certain public agenda and get people talking on issues. Now, I mean, know a couple of them talk about Manifest, E.L. Sarkodie, singing about social issues, and One Love, the Kubolo. Now, a great tune makes the feet tap and makes one think. But does it get results? We ask some of you.
About the musicians, I think what they are doing is not good because it will create enmity within among Ghanaians. And because musicians are doing music for the politicians, I think they have to focus on the music they are doing and also leave the politicians. Most of these musicians go, they take money from them and then do music for these politicians. In the long run, it will create enmity and bring division among the musicians and also the politicians and the people of the of the country, and it will not be good for us in the long term.
Obviously, there should be a better way, but I mean, you can't blame them because they are musicians, okay, and that's also the arts, from which they really survive, and most of the time they do it, for just to create some, environment for people to really have fun. That is the most, reason why most of the time they do it. I don't think they do it just to spite people on, any other thing, So for them, you can't really blame them. But I think collectively too, there should be a better way of addressing some of these issues, because most of the time we take a lot of these serious issues for granted, and then our politics, we denigrate it, that's why even politicians at the end of the day, are looked down upon so much. We insult them, character assassinate them and all that. So there should be a better way, collectively as a people in doing that, and that must be, adhered to. But then for the musicians, you can't really blame them. It's most of the time, to relieve us of some of these stress that we go through, so you can't really blame them so much, but I think as a nation there should be a proper way of doing that.
I believe that as a musician you don't have to involve yourselves in politics, you understand me, because for instance if party A is in power and you sing against the person and the person, your party didn't come to power, you are going to suffer. They are going to do a whole lot of things to make sure that you will not be popular. You understand me? So I believe that musicians should be in their lane. They shouldn't let people see the party that they belong to.
Well, so my question is that if I am a musician and there's something that's going on in the country, because I'm a musician, I can't sing about it because the party in power or the government of the day would be unhappy. Well, that's what some people think, but what do you think? What should musicians do? This one is talking about the budget approval for the first quarter of the year. It says it will be a good idea if it is used as indicated. This is from Elijah. This one says it's not a bad idea, but they need to use the money wisely to create jobs for graduates. Unemployment is killing us in Ghana. And you say you will help Nanado restore nursing and teacher training allowances. Okay, thanks for your message, Maxwell. And this one says, JM, keep doing the good job. JM for life. This is Jabril from Kaswa, a month from. Thank you so much. And this one says, oh, Ghana, JM, you are going and you are thinking of the next year budget. Ghanaians think fast since. He says you can't think far. This is Isaac from Germany. It's well, something that's done, whichever government is in power, for smooth transition. You know, it's an election and a lot of things happening. So usually you'd want to approve the first quarter's budget, then whichever government takes over would continue the rest. This is from Ken Karko. You say the transitional budget has been pronounced nice to Parliament, but always the money is misappropriated and channeled otherwise, other than what it was intended for. Okay, thank you for your comments here. This one says it's a laudable idea only if it's used judiciously. This is Charles from Charles Emble from Ho, I'm sure you mean. This one is talking about the school's anthem. We'll get there shortly as we prepare for school's reunion event. And then this one says music is a very good way to speak out the fullness of the heart and the content therein. To abuse this way of communicating is very unfortunate. So for Yakubu Ibn Chambers, some musicians are abusing what they have. This one is also talking about your school's anthem. I'll get there shortly. A lot of you are excited about your schools, but we'll talk about that. This one says Lucky Dube used his song to talk about social issues in his society and country. Ghanaian musicians must do the same and not politics. This is Ura Beidou at the Sebra Pharmacy in Konongo. So what really do you call politics when a singer, for example, if I'm a musician and I sing about doomsor, would you call that politics? Because really it's a social issue and a lot of people are complaining about that. So if you don't mind, you can come back again and, you know, clarify what you mean by they can talk about social issues but not politics. Well, let's move on. She's a 62-year-old Swede who set up an online dating profile on a whim with some friends. Now, they thought she had been single long enough after her divorce and needed to meet some new people. Then she met a man who claimed to be a 58-year-old man from Denmark. Now, he was actually 24-year-old Nigerian who eventually scammed her of several thousands of euros before he caught on. Now, but here's the twist. Instead of simply getting him arrested, she was intrigued enough about the reasons why he would scam her and decided to meet him, and she did. But if you were in a similar situation, cheated out of thousands of maybe Ghana cedis, somebody's made a fool out of you, what would you do when you meet the person who scammed you?
Oh, I will first consult the police people to arrest the person. Or if I have a picture, sorry, camera in my pocket, I will take the person's picture before I report the police station.
Say, I will beat him. I will beat him up. Seriously, I will beat him up because it's how can you scam a fellow guy like you? I'm a hustler, Andy. You are a hustler too. So why can you scam me?
The person is a lady.
If it's a lady, what can I do? What can I do? I think maybe. I don't know, seriously.
I'll hand the person over to the security services, you know, allow the law to take its course, you know, because that's very important, you know. We live in a society that we must allow the law to take its course. So, well, it doesn't matter how I feel. My feelings do not matter at that very point, you know, so I'll still allow the law to take its course.
Interesting comments over there. I like the guy who was not sure of what he would do if the person who actually scammed him was a lady. But let's get on to Facebook. A few of your comments here. And well, there you have the photo of the woman. If we could just scroll up. and C. So that's the woman who actually met the one who scammed her. Let's pick some of your comments on this matter. Portia Mami Besua says, good woman, happy she turned her situation around for good. That's called life. But not sure it was a good idea to have come alone to Nigeria to meet Johnny. That's the guy's name. She could have been murdered or kidnapped or something else. Anyways, she's happy for both of them. Nana Kumnipa Jr. says, I'll simply give him or her a dirty slap for showing me such professional scamming. Sarah Mohammed says, I'll give him a heavy blow like that of Bukom Banco. Someone says, I'll just say hello and go back home. You're laughing at your own comments because it's really funny that if someone's, duped you of such an amount of money, thousands of euros, when you see the person, you just say hello and go home. Interesting, Sana. No, that was K-Tray rather. A champ on Martin Despite says, I'll shake him and say, you are creative. Gandhi Ganiu says, oh, he has already spent my money, so I'll marry him. Interesting. Yawansa says, I'll give him Kalipo and tell him to hustle. Interesting. Very, very interesting one over there. But this one says, I'll call for more help and we'll arrest him. And the law will continue from there. Rapid is sending that in. This one says, I'll allow the law to deal with him or her. Don't D in Ukraine. Right. Let's talk about your schools now. Joy FM Schools Reunion is on the 29th of October. And as we build up to that event, which is widely attended, I'm asking you, do you remember your school's anthem? A lot of us who were in school never really liked going for singing lessons, especially when you're in high school and you're growing and all that. This one says, Mauli School Anthem, Hail, Hail, Mauli, Hail, Hail, Mauli may grow from strength to strength. Hail, Hail, Mauli, pride of children yet unborn. Hail, Mauli, Hail, Mauli, Hail, Mauli, Hail, Mauli, Hail, Mauli. And you continue. Is that what it is? I don't know if you're being mischievous over there, but someone else sending in your school anthem. Okay, this one says, my school's anthem. You went to Jachip from Senior High School. Our dear alma mater, our founders paved the way for us. That is hard work and the fear of God. Knowledge and wisdom will be ours. We are on a path to do our promise to promote the growth of Japas. God bless mighty Japas. God bless mighty Japas. A lot of your comments coming in, but unfortunately time is up. Let's take a look at our video of the day before we wrap up the show.
Monday work on Pantap Group.
And no, he didn't fall. We didn't end that video just for to see him fall. He didn't fall. For me, that's great balancing skills over there. That's how we end Joy News Interactive for today. Many thanks for your company. Please don't forget the conversation continues on all our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We are Joy News on TV. Alternatively, you can send us a WhatsApp message on the number 0560-800,000 to enjoy the rest of the day and your weekend. Stay blessed.